for Formula One.
Ladies and gentlemen, live from London, it's the 35th Autosport Awards.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into the business of the evening.
When people say that we punch above our weight, or that we're world champions for every pound spent, that makes me happy. The winner of the British Club Driver of the Year is Lando Norris.
Everything you attacked this year, you won. Dream season.
Yeah, obviously thank you for the award. It's obviously a good honour to have it.
Remember the name, Lando Norris, our British Club Driver of the Year.
And the winner of the National Driver of the Year is Gordon Shedden.
Another year, I mean, you're 2 on the bounce now, a hat-trick beckons, but at the halfway point of this party, you were nowhere in the championship battle. Everyone else was winning and you were, what, 9th or 10th?
Yeah, thanks for that. But I guess it shows you've only got to be leading at the end. That's the one that counts.
It's how you finish that counts. Gordon Shedden, ladies and gentlemen, British Touring Car Champion and once again, National Driver of the Year. And he's here with us tonight, of course. So, we're heading towards the climax of our evening with the Formula One related awards. And at this point, we welcome the audience who are joining us via live streaming on the internet and also live on Motors TV as well. So a word of caution or maybe a word of encouragement. If you're planning to come up here on the stage with an exuberant celebration or a controversial statement or a world exclusive, don't hold back. But just remember that your audience has grown just a little in the last few minutes. International Racing Driver is our next award, and to make the presentation 20 years on from his Formula One World Championship success, please welcome Damon Hill. A tear in the eye and a lump in Murray Walker's throat. It doesn't seem like 20 years ago, does it?
Unbelievable. It just goes like that, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
How
Anyway.
many echoes of 20 years ago were you feeling in the climax of the Formula One season we've just had?
I think it's, I've been asked this question, you know, would you be sort of sorry to see your sort of status as the son of champion and all that stuff happen, you know, go. And it's, you know, we did some pieces about having won the championship 20 years ago, and 20 years is nothing. It seems like nothing. It's amazing how it just completely goes. This season has been a fantastic Formula One season, and it's been a very tensely fought one, and I think was a tremendous battle of a psychological battle really between the two, you know, the two protagonists in the championship, and Lewis put Nico under such massive pressure, and I think that I think people felt that we got the right result at the end, and there weren't really any losers. I know that Lewis won't see it that way, but I think that he can come back and fight again another day.
Yeah, Well, this is the story we're going to tell now. And the nominations for International Racing Driver of the Year. Sébastien Buemi, who was a standout driver in sports cars, cruelly lost Le Mans, but won the Formula E title and also leads the current standings. Lewis Hamilton, some stunning performances, as you would imagine, but the 2015 world champion just coming up short in his title defense. Simon Pagenaud claimed the IndyCar title in his second season with Penske, 5 wins along the way. Daniel Ricciardo, victory in Malaysia, and clearly with the right car, a genuine world championship contender. Nico Rosberg, the newly crowned Formula One world champion, now 2 days into his retirement. Max Verstappen, Rookie of the Year last year, confirmed his reputation as the most exciting new young driver on the scene. But the winner, Damon.
And the winner is probably no surprise, Nico Rosberg.
International Racing Driver of the Year.
Formula One world champion with 9 victories and qualifying on the front row for all but one race this season. It was Nico's 11th and final F1 season with 23 career victories after announcing on Friday he would stop racing.
I was with you a couple of nights ago in Vienna when you held another trophy aloft, and the one with your father's name on and Damon's name on and Damon's father's name, and that was the moment, wasn't it? That was the top of the mountain.
I mean, first of all, I need to say I came here the first time 15 years ago, a long time ago, and this is the most prestigious motorsport event or night in the year, you know, and now to myself walk down those stairs in the spotlight with the trophy and be standing up here in front of you. Getting this is really, I'm very, I mean, it's amazing, yeah, really, and I definitely don't take that for granted.
Very good, well said. And you must also get the sense down the years, especially with your time at Williams, that you're very much a part of the kind of British motorsport scene, an admirer of everything that takes place in this part of the world.
Well, it's the home of racing, isn't it? So for sure, yes, I've been a part of this scene now for many years, racing for British teams also all my career. I mean, of course, Mercedes is German, but it is here in England, and yeah, so it's been a great time and unbelievable. And also, it's fantastic that Damon is giving me the award today, because of course, as you all know, we share something very special. Which is that both our dads are Formula One world champions just as we are. I can't believe I'm saying that. That's just so cool.
But yeah, we've got a little club. But my wife has reminded me that I'm the president of the club. Okay, and you're the new vice president. Okay,
I accept that. I accept that.
Inductee. But let's get down to the detail of the last few days. You made that, and you must realize, a bombshell announcement on Friday of your retirement. How do you gauge the reaction that you've had, which has been quite extraordinary worldwide?
Yeah, I don't look and read too much. You know, I just really followed my heart on that one and went for it. It wasn't an easy one, of course, and I wasn't sure if I would be able to do it. But yeah, here I am. I've done it, and it feels good. It feels great to go out on top. You know, that feels right to me, and it's been an unbelievable 11 years in F1, and this year definitely by far was my best in F1 ever. You know, and so I'm crowning my career now with a championship, and going out like that feels good. And it's since I'm 6 years old, probably inspired through my dad, because he got that one title, and probably I'm not sure, but probably. So it's just been my very clear dream. That's what I want to achieve. That's what I'm out here racing for year in, year out in all those different categories in Formula One, to get that world championship once, and I've done that. You know, so I'm just completely happy.
And you just knew in Abu Dhabi it wasn't going to get any better than that. But how soon after you crossed the line, how soon you realized that you were world champion, how soon after that did you finally connect? Well, that's my last race.
Well, it was a longer process. It was after Suzuka, the first time that it was my title to lose. That was the first time that I really started to think, okay, if I get this, if I fulfill my dream, I'll call it a day. But still, you know, it was still a lot of weeks to go. And Abu Dhabi, the thought was still there, and I was pretty sure, okay, if I win this, I'll end it there. But again, I didn't think I'd have the courage to do it, to be honest. But here I am. I've done it.
But I mean, you were almost piling extra pressure on yourself if you said to yourself, right, this is my last chance, really. And to drive so consistently over the last 4 or 5 races showed, well, enormous character.
No, I never had that. I mean, if I would have finished second, for sure I would have continued, because giving up is never an option for me. So I would have continued to pursue my dream. But yeah, for sure, the pressure was unbelievable in those last 4 races. Lewis had nothing to lose, so he was and as motivated as ever. I've never seen him work that hard. So he was sure, I think, the best he's ever driven in his whole career in those last 4 races. I felt I had lead weights on my shoulders from all the pressure, and yeah. So I think, yeah, for sure, my mental approach, I think, in the end helped me a little bit there to keep my head down, just keep focused, and just try and get the job done and do what I need to do, which was get those second places to bring it home. And yeah, I mean, the feeling crossing the finish line, that last race was absolutely crazy. I mean, that was it was horrible. It was just unbelievably horrible. Mentally, oh my God, because I lost the championship like at least 3 times during that race in my head, you know? It was gone. Yeah. Especially with Mad Max in front of me in the middle of the race, where I was sure I'd never ever see him today, starting 6th, but there he was again. My dear friend on the track again. So and then the communication from Tony Ross. Special thanks to Tony Ross in this moment, actually. Tony, if you can please come stand up. If you can please stand up, Tony. There you go, my engineer.
Tony Ross, race engineer.
For 10 years in Formula 1, so for nearly all of my career. Thank you so much, Tony. Really, it's amazing that we've managed to end it on a high like that after 10 years of fighting together, getting better and better. That's just, yeah, phenomenal.
And just going back to that final...
One more thing, yeah, so Tony Ross' communication to me, it's now critical for the championship to pass Max.
We all heard that.
Can you imagine that wouldn't be the nicest ever thing to hear when you're out on the racetrack?
It's not what you want to hear. It's not...
So there I was. I had to go for it, and it was damn close, but I made it stick. And I think it's probably the most intense moment I've ever had in my career. The adrenaline rush was just ridiculous. Yeah, and then my...
and the move was sort of instinctive, was it? You didn't give yourself too long to think about it.
No, the racing instinct came through, you know, and it's just, then in that moment it is another competitor like any other. Just go for it, try and make it stick, and it worked out.
Yeah.
And then I thought I was safe. Little did I know.
Yeah, Lewis's tactics, I mean, would you have done the same thing?
Everybody has asked me that, really.
He
That's
was
the
out
most
to win the
popular
championship.
question that I get, and I'm not going to answer that because that's too hypothetical. But as I've said already, you know, we're fighters out there, and the championship was on the line, so I understand his actions.
Yeah, and now, yeah.
I can't guarantee that my words would have been the same in case the outcome would have been different. But let's leave it at that.
Yeah, yeah. But just going back to the relationship, I mean, obviously it was portrayed in the press and on the fringes of the sport as this great rivalry and something that was getting fairly intense within the team and sort of boiling over. The reality of it was what? I mean, did you completely fall out as friends, or, you know, how vitriolic did the rivalry become within the team?
It was very, very tough, for sure. So intense, you know. I mean, we're fighting out there every time for race wins and for the championship. So I think it's not possible to be friends in that situation. But what really helped us is that we know each other, and we were best friends when we were 14 years old, racing go-karts, racing for Mercedes-Benz McLaren go-kart team, just the 2 of us at the time. And Mercedes-Benz McLaren was paying for our racing. So we've come full circle, which is really, really amazing. And at the time we were best friends, and I think that respect has stayed all the way to today, and that's really helped us through these years, through the difficult times, to keep a respectful, neutral relationship, which we have now as well today. Now
you're back to being friends. You did, I think, a function in Germany yesterday, and all was peace and harmony.
Let's give it a bit more time.
Right, yeah, right.
A few more. Let's give it a few more days. But,
yeah, okay.
We're getting there.
That's fair enough. Nico, stay with us a moment. Damon, thanks very much indeed. No, you stay here.
Am I allowed to say something afterwards?
Yeah, go on.
No, afterwards or not?
No, you say.
Okay, so I want to congratulate all the other winners of the night. Congratulations, and I'm excited to see who's going to win the Young Driver Award. It's very, very special that you're supporting young drivers like that. And I would like to thank Paddy also just quickly. Of all the team, a lot of team members are here today, so I want to thank all of you first of all, because without you I wouldn't be here. You gave me this incredible machine for 3 years, and finally this year I made it happen, so thank you so much for helping me fulfill my dream, and a special to Paddy also.
Well said. Damon, thank you very much indeed for
Am I
helping.
taking too long? I wasn't finished.
No. You
So
got
Paddy for doing such a great job as our leader,
here.
and to all the readers, because voting for me, with it being so close with Lewis in this home of motorsport, England, I'm very, very thankful for that. That's awesome.
They voted for you for a very good reason.
I'm done now.
Right, you're done. But stay with us. Because Nico, if you could help us present the award for Racing Car of the Year, and
I
now
forgot my ticket.
no, that's all right. Now you're retired. You've got a bit of time on your hands. You can help us with things like that. Nominations for Racing Car of the Year. The Audi R18 e-tron Quattro results haven't really matched the performance of perhaps the fastest car in the World Endurance Championship. Ford GT, the new GT machine, won at Le Mans 50 years on. From its first outright win there, also emerged as a race winner in the United States. Mercedes F1 W07 Hybrid, for the third year in succession, the dominant, pretty much unbeatable force in Formula One, won the Constructors' Championship with 4 races to spare. The Porsche 919 Hybrid didn't always match the pace of the opposition, but it still finished in front, both at Le Mans and in the World Championship overall. The Red Bull RB12, the only car other than Mercedes to win Grand Prix this season, definitely the best of the rest. The Renault ZE15, well, Renault had much development to do for its second season in Formula E, and it did emerge as the package to beat. Those are the nominations for Racing Car of the Year. The winner, Nico, you got it there.
And I'm very proud to say the winner is the Mercedes F1 W07 Hybrid.
Recara's winner, Engineering Director Aldo Costa, will collect the award along with other members of the Mercedes team.
And those other members include John Owen, Chief Designer, Mike Elliott, Head of Aero, Owen Jones, Head of Performance and Controls, Eric Megnon, Power Unit Chief Engineer, plus Loic Serra, Chief Vehicle Dynamicist.
Aldo, congratulations, one of our more predictable winners of the night. And I suppose, statistically, now the most successful car in Grand Prix history. I mean, how does that feel to be involved in such a dominant package?
Yeah, it was such a dominant season, really. It was even better than last year. Probably the delta pace between the cars were not as big as 2 years ago, but we were much more consistent. We learned how to win in few circuits where last year we had few issues. So we learned by ourselves, and we improved, and we were a good, let's say, delta pace enough to win all the races.
Yeah. And describe the experience of working with Nico and taking Nico to a World Championship and the feedback and the relationship that was built there.
Yeah, Nico, it was a big shock. I'm not still 100% okay. When we have been called in a room and Toto was communicating that, we were thinking to everything else except this one. Yeah. Really, it was not. Anyway, Nico is a great person. He has done this choice. We've got full of respect of him. So he's a great man. Nico was our column, our strong asset, very close to us, always working very well with all the engineers, full of feedback, big energy. So it was really a pleasure to work with him for all these years.
Good. The difficulty now is you've got big rule changes coming up for 2017, a lot of work to do in the first part of next year. I mean, it's bound to have a kind of destabilizing effect. But let's talk about the changes for next year. And I'm delighted to say that Autosport has been rejoined by their legendary Formula One technical illustrator, Giorgio Piolo, who I think is out there with some thoughts on 2017 with James.
Yes, here we are with the great Giorgio Piolo, who's coming back to Autosport. Fantastic to have you, Giorgio. And we've got a couple of your illustrations, some of your magic drawings. You're going to tell us a bit about how big a rule change we've got for 2017 and which part of the car most excites you in terms of the changes.
I think it's a biggest revolution in the last 20 years because in every aspect of the car there will be big changes. Starting from the tires, they will be much wider. The car also will be much wider, and all the aerodynamic, it will be totally different. So it will be a big revolution. The diffuser are increased, so they are more powerful, more downforce from the bottom of the car. As you can see from the front, the wings are completely different in height, width. So it will be really very challenging. It will be terribly interesting from the technical point of view, and everybody has to start from a completely white piece of paper.
I have to say, Giorgio's so happy, Steve. He's surrounded by all his heroes. We've got Gordon Murray, Patrick Head, Rory Byrne. We've got Jock Clear here from Ferrari as well. What a table this is. I might stick around here for a while, I think.
And they're optimistic about 2017 over there. Aldo, do you share the optimism? Has the sport got it right? Is this going to deliver the spectacle that the sport requires and spectators want?
In terms of spectacle, it's a bit difficult to say that. We know that the car, they will be faster. They will be faster by few seconds. It will all depend from the tires, from the development of the tires. The cars will have much more downforce than this year. So at the end, they will be faster and more difficult to drive. More effort will be required by the drivers. Therefore, hopefully more spectacular.
It's the kind of technological challenge you and your team really enjoy. Let's get one final word with Nico. Just join us up here. Nick, I mean, what is your thought on 2017 in terms of the cars? Are we going to see overtaking? Are we going to see old-fashioned kind of racing? Where have we gone with it?
Oh, well, first of all, you're going to see a lot of excited drivers, I think, because we always like to go faster, and those cars are going to be super fast. And apart from that, I mean, the ultimate goal was to try and shake up the grid a bit, you know, and to try and challenge our team and make it difficult for Mercedes to continue the domination. And yeah, let's see. It'll be interesting to see how the hierarchy will be at the beginning of next season.
And when it all comes round, Australia in March next year, it'll be a strange feeling for you, won't it?
Oh, for sure, yeah, massively strange. But I'll be a massive fan in front of the TV, for sure, watching the race.
We're massive fans of yours tonight as well. Our award winner, International Racing Driver of the Year, Racing Car of the Year, the dominant team, and the world champion, Nico Rosberg. Well, next award after all that, Rookie of the Year, won emphatically by Max Verstappen in 2015. We'll go through this year's candidates in a moment, but let's first meet the presenters, the newly crowned World Sports Car Champions for Porsche, Neil Yarni and Mark Lieb. We were talking the other all anybody wants to talk about, that drama at Le Mans and the heartbreak and the win that you sort of inherited. You were behind the wheel of the Porsche when the drama unfolded. Just describe exactly what was going on.
Yeah, I think Le Mans showed its face, no? Why it's such a myth. You can't win Le Mans. Le Mans lets you win, and yeah, it was a close race. You know, we knew we had to stop two times more than the Toyotas, so we had to catch up. Then the other thing was, after 21 hours, we were just separated by 30 seconds, the top three. And yeah, once we thought we win it, then it's gone again, win it again, lose it. And 10 minutes before the end, I thought definitely lost with the slow puncture. But just as I left the pits, my engineer came on and said, oh, the Toyota is getting slower, and then I saw Kazuki stopping on the finish straight, and I thought, well, there it is, no? Le Mans lets you win.
Yeah, well, that is certainly true. What was impressive in the aftermath of that is obviously celebration within Porsche, and it was a big step toward the World Championship, but also the sympathy within the sort of family of the World Endurance Championship. I mean, there was always kind of mutual support there to help them get through it.
Yeah, I mean, when you looked at the race and, you know, the emotions going through that and how much work and effort you put in just one race, it's clear it's you're bound together also off track a little bit, and you have chat with the other drivers, and you know, we met them after the race, and it was terrifying. I mean, it was just you felt so bad for these guys because they went through, and the same with the team principals. You know, when they went to the garage to Toyota after the race, it was just heartbreaking for them, and we were the lucky ones.
Yeah, and there was similar emotion with the withdrawal in the last race of Audi and so on. It's a very close-knit community, your sports car racing community.
Yeah, it's actually a lot of fun in the paddock. You know, everyone is sticking together also afterwards for a beer, so it's good fun. We love it. We love doing it. So it's a fantastic atmosphere.
Excellent. Let's go on to the nominees then for Rookie of the Year. We've got Antonio Giovinazzi, the Italian runner-up in GP2. After a stunning year with Prema, his debut year. Charles Leclerc took the GP3 title. He's been very impressive on his Friday outings with the Haas Formula One team. Esteban Ocon made his debut in DTM, and then it was Formula One after the August break, and was impressive at Manor, now going to Force India. Jolyon Palmer, Renault was a tough place to be, but Palmer improved throughout the season and had his first point-scoring drive in Malaysia. Alexander Rossi, a challenging season in IndyCar, but all worthwhile after a fantastic win in the Indy 500. And Pascal Wehrlein, the Mercedes junior, impressive in his first season in Formula One, the highlight being a point for 10th place in the Austrian Grand Prix for Manor. Who's got the envelope? Niels, who is our winner? Rookie of the Year.
So our Rookie of the Year is Pascal Wehrlein.
Pascal Wehrlein, Rookie of the Year.
Pascal got a brilliant 10th place finish in Austria and ended 19th in the 2016 Formula One World Championship for Manor. Already a champion, Pascal is the 2015 DTM champion for Mercedes.
Pascal, great to see you and congratulations. Rookie of the Year. You can't do much more in your first season in Formula One. What did you feel you learnt with Manor during the course of the season and the progress you made?
Yeah, first of all, thank you very much for this. It's really an honor for me to get this trophy, and it's the first time here, and I'm really impressed, so thank you very much. Yeah, I mean, it's been a fantastic season for me. Many highlights, many times in Q2, 1 point in Austria, and especially after 3 years in DTM, coming back to single-seater, many things to learn for me.
Now I mean, you would have been intrigued by the news on Friday as everyone else, but you're in a very interesting position as a Mercedes reserve driver. You were confused about your position at Manor, and there's still a question mark over that. Have more options opened up?
Thank you very much for the trophy. Maybe you helped me a little bit with that.
But you must be thinking to yourself, there's an opportunity here.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you know, 1 season in Formula One, of course, is not a lot, but I feel ready for the job, and I feel that confident enough. And, you know, now the decision is on the bosses. And I guess Toto's phone is overheating since Friday, and many drivers calling him, but yeah, I respect that process, and that they want to go for the best option.
Yeah. He's already indicated in the last few hours that maybe they're not going to go for a big name driver, maybe they'll be a little bit more strategic. I mean, would you have a role to play in the development of a 2017 car and everything that's required there? Go on, sell yourself.
Yeah, I hope. Yeah. I think I did most days with the 2017 tires, and you know, it's very important to have that experience.
Well done. Pascal Wehrlein.
Well done. Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Neil Yarni, Mark Lieb, thank you very much as well. The rookie's learnt a lot in his first year, and put him on the list. He's a candidate. Right. We move on. It's a time of much change in the motorsport world and indeed for Autosport itself. Autosport, Formula One racing, motorsport news and LAT images are now part of the burgeoning Motorsport network that has also acquired Motors TV. I'd like to bring onto the stage the non-executive chairman of Motorsport.com, busy man, Zach Brown. Great to see you. Now, a few reassurances about what is happening in our world. Autosport and its sister titles, how do they fit into the Motorsport.com world?
These are unbelievable titles. They have been forever. I've been a reader for a good 25 plus years. We're going to invest. We're going to grow. The show's going to get bigger and better. I think you do an outstanding job, by the way.
I'm going to get bigger and better.
Well, yeah, I've already gotten bigger. I don't know about the better part. Yeah, so as you mentioned, you know, Autosport, Motorsport News, LAT Photographic, F1 Racing, and then of course the Motors TV, who's broadcasting live tonight, and we're pushing out streaming. Giorgio Paola and Nigel Rosberg joining
yeah, that's great.
Autosport. So I think we're doing all the right things, and we're just going to focus on the readers and our fans and try and give them new and innovative content. But we're definitely here to continue to grow the business. And then we recently just did a relationship with Ferrari.
Yeah, what is happening there? It involves, they're at Daytona at the moment.
Yep, they're all in Daytona for the Ferrari World Finals. And so we're going to build a nice media partnership with Ferrari. So Mike, who owns the company, is going for it, doesn't sit still. So by the time I get off stage, we probably would have acquired something else.
And in the time you've got left, you're going to fit in another role as executive director of McLaren Technology Group, and it's a big task. Early days, but what do you see as the way ahead there, and what can you contribute there?
I'm massively excited. I've been a massive McLaren Honda fan ever since the Senna Prost era, and always have been. I think we have an outstanding team. We've got great people. Honda power plant is coming along very well. We've got great drivers, so I think we're going to get back to our World Championship ways here shortly.
That's good to hear. There's a spirit in the place, isn't there? You've been able to tap into that.
It's outstanding. I met the entire team last week, and you just kind of sat there in the McLaren Technology Center and you looked at the team and you went, well, you know, it's the best team in the business. So now we just need to back that up. We've proven it that we can. We've got unbelievable competition, but I have no doubt the team's up for it.
We wish you the best. Bring them back to the top for us.
Thank you.
Now, as you're getting busier, others are cutting back, and I'd like to bring on stage for a special presentation two of the other most notable retirees of this current season, indeed two of the finest drivers of recent years. Please welcome Felipe Massa and Mark Webber. We've got nothing for you at the moment. We will bring that out very shortly. But wow, the events of the last few days. When you heard the news on Friday, I mean, both of you, did you think, oh, hang on, we've gone a bit too soon on this?
I definitely didn't think I've gone too soon, mate. So, yeah. No, I'm stoked for Nico. I mean, he did an incredible job. Obviously, you can see a changed man even in 3 or 4 days, how relaxed he is. And, yeah, he did a great job this year. And I definitely don't feel, mate. I've put on 6 kilos, mate, since I stopped in F1, mate. So I've got no bloody... You can see I was a man of average height, obviously, in F1. It was difficult for me at the best of times. So, you know, the old mud bench now is in trouble. So, if Felipe wants to replace Nico, no worries.
Felipe, we saw the emotions that are involved in making the decision to retire, and they affect people in different ways. Brazil was something special, wasn't it?
Well, I think, first of all, it's a big pleasure to be here, because I remember in 2002, I got a trophy here, and this is like a dream for all the kids, for all the drivers, you know, to receive something like a motivation. And so I really started, you know, dreaming to be a Formula One driver, and then after 15 years is the right time. So I never expect to feel that emotion, you know, from for sure the fans in Brazil, place that I really grew up, but also from everybody that I work with, everybody I even didn't work, you know, it was there. So it was just an amazing feeling, and it shows definitely that it's a difficult world. Everybody knows. A lot of competition, as Nico was saying, you know, just a few minutes before, that we all have a lot of competition, you know, some fights, but I think the human side was just amazing, the feeling, and so just thank you very much. I'm really happy with what I announced. It was quite difficult, to be honest, so that's why, Nico, first of all, congratulations for the championship. So you really deserve, definitely. But it's quite difficult to do what he did, what I did, what also Jenson, Mark. So it's not easy to stop so early, you know, in something that you really love. But I think, you know, it's just you need to have a big, to you know, do this type of announcement, you know. And I think that's really a big respect, to be honest.
Absolutely. I mean, the great thing for you was you had the emotion in Brazil, and then you went to Abu Dhabi. You were able to battle and race right to the last lap. Dear old Jenson Button, he's gone this year as well. He didn't have that opportunity. There was a mechanical failure, and off he went. But retirement is tough. How do you replace the adrenaline that you've been experiencing over the last 10 or so years?
Yeah, look, I think it's tricky. We've got lots of different generations in the room here that can speak on our behalf, of course, whether you're engineer, racing driver, motorbike. Obviously Freddie's here as well, one of my heroes on two wheels. So, you know, it's actually pretty much impossible to replace it, obviously, and I can talk on behalf of obviously both categories. I mean, having done this incredible program with Porsche now is really the closest thing that you can do to after F1. After F1 is so hard to replace, you know, the engineers, the intensity, the passion, the driving to get the details in place, and the driver is an integral part of that. He's the beacon to that. So that's a buzz, mate. That's a buzz. The accountability, the pressure, all of those things which we do enjoy. So yeah, you're going to have to give that up. You know what's a good friend of mine, Paddy Rafter, played a bit of tennis back in the day, and he said, mate, you know, guess what it is? He said, mate, it's just reality. Get over it and get forward. You know. So and it is. It's reality. You know, you don't. You're young still at heart, but obviously you can't do it forever. So. Yeah, look forward to new challenges, and you've got to let go. And now we're watching Mad Max do his thing, and it's all good. I'm happy to be on the sofa, mate, watching Max do his thing, and it's great to watch as a neutral.
The extraordinary thing is, I mean, you retire at the same time. You both made your Formula One debut, same race at the same time, didn't you?
Yeah. The second race of the year, I crashed into Felipe in Brazil, and the home race in Brazil, I thought, I need to get out of the favelas there, and I thought I'm going to be in trouble here. So, yeah, I mean. Felipe had an incredible career, and we're in one piece. We've had a few close shaves, but he's a great guy, and a real family guy, tough competitor, and we had a good time.
Tough experiences for you in Formula One. One was the accident in Hungary, and the other was 2008 in Brazil, when you were sort of world champion for about 10 seconds. And I think it was the way you handled that.
That's too quick. 10 seconds is really, not enough. I
think it was. Yeah. It was the way that you handled that, and all the emotions that must have been swirling around that earned you the respect of so many people.
Yeah, I got really, really close. Definitely, it was an amazing season. We tried until the last moment. For sure, we had some problems during the season on that time. But I think what it definitely helps me was that I win the race. So the victory is a victory. So better than that, it was impossible. So it was not depends just from me. It was depends from the championship, the other cars, the other drivers around. That he was there to maybe get points from Lewis on that moment. It was not enough, but definitely we fight until the end, and I think that's really, I won the race, and it was really a great feeling to help, definitely, to accept, what was happening.
Yeah, and as Pat Rafter says, get over it, move on. Yeah, which you have done. That's the Australian philosophy. Congratulations to both of you, what you've achieved in your careers. And And we have a presentation for you. Zach, on behalf of Amalgam, one of your companies, two wonderful 1/8 scale models of your 2008 Formula One Ferrari and also your World Championship winning Porsche,
nice.
coming out from the back
Great.
now. And your applause, Mark Webber, Felipe Massa, two of the best drivers, two of the finest personalities to have graced the sport in recent years. Mark Webber, Felipe Massa. And Zach Brown, our thanks to you as well. Right, we're getting near the climax of our evening. Two more special awards before we announce the winner of the McLaren Autosport BRDC Young Driver of the Year. First of those is for technical excellence, a John Bolster Award, which is in memory of Autosport's great technical editor. To make the presentation, a man who won the award in 1992 and 2007, the former engineering and technical director at Williams. Please welcome Sir Patrick Head. Now, you've worked with just about everyone in Formula One, including the man we're going to honour tonight. It goes to a man who won his 150th Grand Prix at Spa this year, and a man who's won world championships with Williams, McLaren, and Mercedes. And in the absence of any video, I will announce that winner as Executive Director Technical, Mercedes F1, Paddy Lowe.
51 of Paddy's 157 victories have come in the last 3 seasons with Mercedes. And Paddy was one of the brains behind the active suspension of the Williams FW14B.
John Bolster Award, Paddy Lowe. Paddy, well done.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations, and a great career. And unless you've got an exclusive for us tonight, it's a career
Well, I
that
was
goes
going to
on.
say, it's a great opportunity to make an announcement that I'm not retiring at this stage.
And indeed,
no plans.
While you're on that subject, what does the immediate future hold? Because there's a bit of debate, a few question marks. I mean, you staying where you are, or what is happening?
I gather that's out there, that there's a bit of debate on that subject. I've been with Mercedes for 22 years, I think now, either working for them or with them. So I've got no reason to see that that should change. It's going very well. Toto and I had a discussion which said, let's wait till the end of the season and get that out of the way, and then take it from there.
Good. And Nico has made his decision, and it came to a shock, as a shock it seems to a lot of people within the team and within the company. What is the destabilizing effect of that in the first part of next year?
I think the first point to acknowledge is, the great records that we've set over the last 3 years. A fantastic team. You saw the design team up here earlier. Also a fantastic pit wall team. Most of whom are here tonight as well, that exploit that car at the track. So a tremendous team that have secured all those records, but we couldn't have done it without two fantastic drivers, because they're there every race, scoring the points, very, very low error rate, and that's what it takes to get that statistic. Yeah. So it is a big dent to lose Nico. Those will be very, very difficult shoes to fill. So we'll see where we get to with it, but it will be a big loss.
Do you fill them quickly? Is it going to be a quick decision? Is it going to be a big name? Is it going to be someone who is going to have a technical input, a testing input, or what?
Well, I'm a very logical person, so in my book there are sort of old blokes who have just finished and might want to come back.
Right.
Sorry, Felipe. But you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Then there are young blokes, and we saw Pascal up earlier as one of those, and then the ones in the middle who are all signed up. So That's our range.
Yeah, that pretty well sums it up. Yeah.
So, no answer there. But
limited only by how old the old blokes are, I suppose.
Yeah.
You've had some great times. I mean, Patrick, you must have a great admiration for this man. You took Nigel Mansell to the World Championship with Williams, and Paddy was a big part of that.
Yeah, I always joke with Paddy that I taught him all he knows. I don't think it's actually quite true. I think he's learned a few things since, but he was a great part of the Williams team when we were developing the active ride car, and ultimately we then took that out to win championships in 92 and 93, and we had some good fun with the active ride car. It was a challenging program and some good fun people on it that worked very well together, and I think we've all got quite good memories of it. I was actually looking at some pictures as I was shuffling through the other day, and came across some pictures of the active ride team down in Brazil, with Paddy amongst other engineers wearing some very inappropriate short shorts out in the high temperature of Brazil, as football shorts tended to be in those days. Yeah. But so I can produce those pictures if necessary, Paddy. But no, we had some very good times, and Paddy was a major part of the success we had then, and he then has gone on to great things elsewhere.
They were fun times. Is it as much fun in Formula One these days?
It is. I enjoy it more every year, to be honest, because you just find, different areas in which to gain experience and do an even better job. The great thing back then is we were such a small team. I probably did the job of about 40 people that would do it now, which sounds great.
We didn't give you the pay of 40 people.
No, exactly not. And definitely not Patrick.
Even one.
But the thing was, we did it quite badly. So, considering what was known, we were so inexperienced and we were just learning as we went. Now, what's very satisfying is to see the standard that has been reached in Formula One. The technical excellence that we apply is incredible to see, and that's so rewarding.
Everyone appreciates and knows what you've achieved behind the scenes. You've now got a bit of a public profile as the voice on the pit wall, on the pit radio, giving instructions to Lewis and Nico. And how do you feel that's gone?
So when I told Lewis to speed up, the next debate on the pit wall came from Toto. Tell him again, he hasn't done it. So I said, no, then I will look like a complete pillock if I do that again. No, there seemed to be a bit of... so James, who sits to my right, is actually the most fantastic strategist, but it didn't compute with him that the driver wasn't going at the right speed. So he was struggling with that. And then it was, well, make him speed up, otherwise the graph shows we'll lose. Yeah. So the conversation I was having was, don't you think that once he sees a red car in the mirror, he might put the throttle in a bit harder? So we were having our own debates. But yeah, I put a marker down. Something that's not been mentioned a lot in all of this debate, and actually I thought it was a great race result. It was a great ending, great for not only the team but for the sport as a whole. That will really have brought new fans to the sport. So fantastic result. Although I told Lewis to speed up, I think it was fine what happened. But it's worth remembering that in Monaco, we told Nico to let Lewis past. That was my other team instruction of the year. And he did that within one corner. So just for a bit of balance, that's worth remembering.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's worth making that point. Paddy, congratulations on the award tonight. It's nice to know you're a sportsman as well as an engineer and race manager and race director at heart.
Thank you very much. Can I just thank Patrick as well, actually. I did learn a few things from some other people, but something that has got me to where I am today is learning from really some great role models such as Patrick and Frank and many others. But I have great memories of working with Patrick, so thank you for that.
Well said. Paddy Lowe, winner of our John Bolster Award. And so, our final award before the Young Driver Award, the Gregor Grant Award. That's in memory of Autosport magazine's founding editor. As often as not, it goes to a high-profile sporting hero. Well, now we're going to meet two of them. First of all, to present the award, one of our greatest Olympians and making a growing reputation in motorsport. Please welcome Sir Chris Hoy. Great to see you, great to see you. Passionate about motorsport, I know, and what sort of progress do you feel you're making Le Mans this year, and what lies ahead?
Well, this year was amazing to actually compete at Le Mans. It was my dream in the 24-hour race. It was even more special than I thought it would be. It was incredible. You learn so much that you want to go back. You want to go back again to try and use all the things you've learned. Nothing lined up so far for next year, so I'm still kind of keeping my ears open and trying to make something happen.
Well, this is the place to put the word out. You put British cycling on the map, on the world map, that's for sure. 6 times an Olympic champion. We're going to make a presentation now, though, a Gregor Grant Award to a man who is absolutely a folk hero of British motorsport, one of the greatest battlers, one of the greatest racers that Formula One has ever seen. Who energized and enthralled the British crowds and the American audiences as well. Gregor Grant Award to Nigel Mansell.
An historic achievement. Nigel is the only man to hold both F1 and IndyCar titles simultaneously.
Bit of a surprise, that.
I think this is one of the few that's missing from your trophy cabinet, and it sort of commemorates, 25 years since your World Championship success, 30 years since, 1986 and all the drama in Adelaide and that extraordinary season. Do you look back on 86 as the one that really sort of got the flags waving and created the Great British Hero stuff? And
yeah,
so
it might have done, but I mean, I've got to say something. Sorry to just talk about something else secondly.
No, I'm used to it.
I was driving with Nico's dad, obviously the whole of 1985, and so 27th of June, if Nico's still here, obviously you were born. I was racing with your dad, and what an incredible day that was. And to see him become world champion, and we all forget because, you know, just look at everybody in the room. Esteem, racers, champions. I mean, the amazing talent here with the engineers and, you know, Paddy up here, Sir Patrick. I mean, what an unbelievable talent these people have. And people forget, ladies and gentlemen, that when you are teammates to a world champion, Lewis is now second in the winning list of all time, 3 times world champion. But Nico beat him this year against the odds. Nico, you're a fantastic world champion. We're all proud of you. Many, many congratulations.
Nico showed with that character and composure and courage in those last 4 or 5 races. I mean, that's something I'm sure you identify
Yeah,
with.
you can't believe it. And I mean, when you said about whoever it was to get over it, I mean, I lost 3 world championships, as you know, and you alluded to, I think it was 86, wasn't it, when the tyre blowing. I said, goodness gracious me. Or something like that anyway, but my goodness, no, you do get over it, but I mean, basically you don't.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got to say something else as I'm getting into it now. There's one person in here, for me, is an incredible legend, and if there's an award to be given to world champions who should have actually won, you had 2 of them up here on the stage, Felipe and Mark, but there's another one, Sir Sterling, absolutely incredible.
Yeah. Sterling Moss is here today.
And I'll never forget, ladies and gentlemen, I mean, I hadn't won the World Championship, but I surpassed his race wins. And if you remember, when I surpassed his race wins, he came up to me and he said, Nigel, fantastic, fantastic. And I couldn't understand a word he was going on about. I wasn't winning the World Championship. He said, now you're the most winningest driver ever in the World Championship, never to be a World Champion. And he was really pleased. So when we won the World Championship, we gave the accolade back.
Yeah. We're, I mean, one of the themes of tonight, and Nico has embodied it, is retirement and getting it right.
I'm ready, Paddy.
Yeah, yeah. You announced your retirement from Formula One on quite a few occasions, and
twice.
Only twice. What's the secret to getting it right?
The secret for getting it right is signing contracts for number 1 and then having the chosen ones come and pinch your number 1 contract from Ferrari. Ferrari are a great team. They told me they were going to do it, and I said, well, you can't really do that because of the contract. But then they brought that part of the contract out and gave me the Ferrari car, which is a 640 up in the museum.
But you're over it?
No, sort of, yeah. And then, I mean, winning the World Championship is the happiest time of my life, and then finding out that obviously things move on.
Chris, I mean, what would you have been, 10 years old, 1986, something like that?
Right.
Did what Nigel was doing in those days register?
I was I've always been a massive motorsport fan, so yeah, to think I'm standing here tonight presenting you with this award, it's an honour for me. But yeah,
thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I think everyone talks about, you know, bravery and everything else, but I mean, I look at MotoGP and John McGuinness, if you're still here, I mean, stand up and take a bow. I mean, I lived on the Isle of Man for 12 years. Where are you? There he is. I mean, Formula One drivers sometimes complain about dangerous corners. Well, they want to drive around the Isle of Man on a motorbike, and they'll have a different idea about it. But no.
Last question: the vacancy at Mercedes.
I'm on a diet.
Yeah,
I'm eating
are,
tonight.
Yeah.
You look pretty good too, I have to say.
When we heard the cars were getting wider, I did think of you.
Yeah, well, that was like the rules years ago, as Sir Patrick. I mean, Patrick, do you remember the race we had in Canada? You confused me so much. And when we were driving that one race with Keke, who was winning with McLaren, I think, at the time, and he kept telling me to slow down, we're running out of fuel, and you're driving the race, and then halfway through, he was monitoring everything perfectly. He said, right, you can get your finger out now and go. And we won the race eventually, but we had a lot of fun together. So I've got to say a big thank you. I wouldn't be standing here tonight, ladies and gentlemen, without the great late Colin Chapman. I started my career with Lotus, fantastic team, like there's no tomorrow. Sir Frank and Sir Patrick, I mean, absolutely brilliant. Thank you for believing in me and working so hard with me. At the second race, when I crashed on my warm-up lap in Portugal to the grid, that wasn't a good time, was it, Patrick? But I started from the pit lane and came 5th. And then, obviously, the time I had at Ferrari and even the time I had at McLaren, I was very pleased and very blessed. But, ladies and gentlemen, it's tough being teammates to world champions, because when you beat them or go almost as quick as them, they're not your best friend. And that's why I say what Nico's achieved this year has been absolutely fantastic. So congratulations to all.
One last point, answer it quickly. In an ideal world, in terms of the sport, in terms of competition, who would you like to see alongside Lewis next season?
Well, there's no question. If I can slim down, I'll give it a shot. We'll see what happens. I'm not going to say anything, but I mean, I just wish everybody in Formula One, and of course the new owners, which are here tonight as well, fantastic future success. I mean, Formula One is the pinnacle of motorsport worldwide. We're very proud proud to be part of the family. I'm proud to be standing here and still alive, so it's absolutely fantastic.
You should be
and
proud.
thank you very much for this award.
Gregor Grant.
And especially
award.
of this legend here, ladies and gentlemen.
From Sir Chris Hoy. Nigel Mansell, ladies and gentlemen. Good. And the winner of our penultimate award tonight, a Gregor Grant Award for the heroic Nigel Mansell. Right. That brings us to the announcement of the McLaren Autosport BRDC Young Driver of the Year Award, which since 1989 has identified itself as one of the most coveted opportunities for a young driver in British motorsport, with this year its expanded prize that offers a place on the McLaren Young Driver programme, a paid role as a McLaren simulator driver, plus that Formula One test at Silverstone. 4 contenders who we've met already. So to help make the presentation, please welcome Eric Boulier, Racing Director of McLaren, Kevin Turner, the editor of Autosport magazine, Derek Warwick, the President of the British Racing Drivers Club, and this year's guest judge, David Brabham. Eric. David, how are you? Derek. Quick word from you, Eric. A renewed and expanded commitment from McLaren, and thank you very much for that. What's the thinking behind the prize which is now on offer?
Well, we wanted to obviously prepare our drivers. Obviously, as you said, with the awards, there is also a McLaren endorsement contract behind. And obviously, these days, we had experience this year with Stoffel stepping in the car in Bahrain, and we were pleased to see he was ready to compete in Formula One. So we want, obviously, as a winner of this prestigious award, to be ready to step in Formula One as soon as possible. That's why we changed the concept and the format, and we are pleased obviously to offer a deeper and more integrated role into the McLaren organization.
Fantastic. It's become a sort of life-changing prize now. David, you were our guest judge. What were your impressions of what took place over those 2 days at Silverstone?
Before I sort of say that, I'd just like to say what a class act Nico Rosberg is. Absolutely. This is all about young drivers and aspiring to get to Formula One, and if you're ever looking for an ambassador, someone to look up to, Nico is definitely your man, so well done. My role was not only to sort of judge the drivers, it was also, Derek brought me along to see how the whole thing operates and give my view, and I was absolutely thrilled to bits to be part of it. I enjoyed it immensely. The drivers did a fantastic job. And Derek and the team, just so professional. They look at every little bit of detail and, you know, without any judgment either. What, is that good? You got the money? No, fantastic, really good, really enjoyed it. And yeah, I think we got a worthy winner as well.
Good. We will announce that in just a moment. Let's just give you a further insight and show you what happened on that second day of the examination at Silverstone.
Today, you can see they've got their serious face on.
We've got 2 qualifying runs just before lunch, and then after lunch we've got 10 time laps. We get to use the boost button, which is always exciting, a little bit more power.
All the cars will be set the same, so it's just down to us. There's a lot of different elements that we've got to pull together to make sure that it all does work.
There's a few more things I need to make sure I'm focused on, as well as just trying to drive fast and do the best I can.
I know the areas in which I need to improve. We need to up our game today, that's fundamental. No, I'm going to be going all guns blazing from the outset.
They know today is the big day. They know that we're challenging them.
And they're not just tested for their speed, are they? I think anything you can do to test them, you've got to. And I think that's a great plan.
I think it was pretty good. Yeah, new tyres now, so it's going to be pretty different again. It'll be interesting.
There is still room for improvement. Put it all together now for the qualifying run.
We were really consistent, and for a peaky tyre, it shouldn't be that consistent. So I think I need to find a little bit of time and dig a bit deeper to really get the maximum out of them before they fall off the cliff.
But now we're on new tyres. it's time to pull the rabbit out of the hat.
They got 10 laps to be as fast as possible, but of course they really got to think about it. Can they have the capacity to go out there and drive fast, but also figure it out while they're out there? And this is a great test.
So what's our summary of the 2 days?
Having 4 drivers to concentrate on has really helped us schedule everything better.
I agree. You know, you look at the baseline driver of the DTM, Maxi. I mean, he was stunned by how quick they were.
I think the correct word is not happy.
Not happy. I want to go out again. There's 2 people that are a little bit above the other 2. In my mind, I've already got somebody, but that might change when we analyse this and talk to the drivers at McLaren.
Feel the tension of that day. The judges, though, have reached a decision. So who will be the 2016 McLaren Autosport BRDC Young Driver of the Year? Who will benefit from all the great opportunities that are now on offer? Derek, announce the winner.
Can I say that all 4 drivers were absolutely stunning over the 2 days. But at the end of the day, the guy that won this was exceptional, stunning, amazing, and it's Lando Norris.
Lando Norris, McLaren Autosport BRDC Young Driver of the Year. Lando Norris, a winner already this evening. Lando Norris, ladies and gentlemen, our Young Driver of the Year. And he wins membership of the McLaren Young Driver Programme, a paid role as a simulator driver for McLaren, membership of the British Racing Drivers Club, that Arai carbon helmet. Wow, and that Formula One test at Silverstone as well. Get your breath. You've been imagining this moment, I'm sure.
Yeah, well, it's been pretty nervous. I've been pretty nervous coming up to it, so yeah, I mean, it's been it's been the tip of, you know, the great success we've had all year. This has really topped the whole season off.
And sitting in front of you there, the James Hunt Trophy as well. While you get your breath, Derek, just tell us a little bit more about Lando and what impressed you.
Can I say, first of all, Steve, that to repeat what you said earlier on this evening, I'd like to thank our partners. They've been really strong throughout this award. McLaren, Autosport, Silverstone, BRDC, they've all really been strong, but in particular, Mercedes and McLaren. McLaren, with the way that they've stepped up to the plate this last year, has been quite stunning. To be honest, it's lifted the whole award even better than what it was over the last few years. Lando. Every year I stand here and say how amazed I am at the way that these guys are able to cope with the DTM car, the McLaren GT car, and the F2 car. This guy, in his first year, at 16, was amazing. He really was. The other 3 drivers were very, very close. They all came back for the second time. So even more pressure on Lando and the way that he approached the whole award. And I have to say that he was one of the quickest in the DTM, one of the quickest in the GT3 car, McLaren, and he was stunning in the F2 car. This guy's got a great career in front of him. We've got, I think, a future Formula One driver and even a future world champion stood right here beside me tonight, and that's pretty cool.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
That's quite something to hear. We followed your progress in the junior categories and you were world karting champion and so on and so forth. We talked earlier in the evening about your plans for next year and you were a little bit circumspect about everything. They're coming together now.
Yeah, so yeah, like I said, nothing's been confirmed, but it's probably going to be FIA F3, so it should be another very exciting season. Maybe not as good as this one's been, but yeah, I think obviously I need to say, or give a lot of respect to the Ricky, Toby and Senan, the three other drivers. They've done great. I've raced them in the past 2 years, and there
was a real nice sort of camaraderie between the four of you, wasn't there?
Yeah, well, yeah, we've raced each other for the past 2 years, so we've given each other a lot of respect. Yeah, and they've made my life pretty hard in the past few years, so yeah, well done to all of them. Yeah, obviously I need to say a big thanks to my mum and dad. They worked hard for me, so I got to say a big thanks to them. And yeah, obviously all the judges, Silverstone, everyone who's put this together. Yeah, it's been a great year, so I've got to say a big thanks to everyone.
You're quick in just about everything you climb into. The two features of this prize, though, the membership of the McLaren Junior program now, you're part of the McLaren family, and your thoughts must now already be going ahead to that Formula One test. What's that going to be like?
Yeah, well, for the moment, I think I'm still kind of soaking up this whole award. I mean, I worked pretty hard very hard for it, so I'm very glad for the outcome. But yeah, it wasn't just me, it was a lot of people who have worked hard behind me. And yeah, we've done it, so thank you.
Well done, Lando. Congratulations to our other three finalists who did a spectacular job. But here on the stage, you heard it from Derek Warwick, Lando Norris, our Young Driver of the Year, and maybe a champion, world champion of the future. Lando Norris, ladies and gentlemen, McLaren Autosport BRDC, Young Driver of the Year. Well done, Lando. And that's it. Thanks to McLaren, the BRDC, and Williams once again. Thanks to our sponsors tonight, Bose, Mercedes-Benz, Motorsport.com, Pirelli, and UBS. Special thanks to Mercedes-Benz as this year's title sponsor. Next date for the diary, Autosport International at NEC in Birmingham, January the 12th through to the 15th. Enjoy the rest of the evening. Lando Norris will for sure. He is our Young Driver of the Year.